Janelle. Hi, Alison. Yes, I've just seen it. Thank you. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Kishwa. Oh, once again, this is telling me there's lots of new comments and I can't see them. Just love it.
Technology.
Having said that, we've just had the fibre put in today, and I've just tried downloading old classes off StreamYard and uploading them to the OneDrive. And what used to take hours, literally, just took me less than 20 seconds. I can't even, it's so quick. It's really good. I hope it makes a difference to the, I don't think it will make a difference to the picture, but we can always hope, can't we? Hi, Lane. Hi, Millie. No, well, yeah, I'm not as sleepy as I was. I don't know what on earth is the matter. I had a complete, do you want to hear about my flipping complete disaster? I'll tell you actually before we start. So if you come along for the class, not the chat, I'm sorry, but you're going to get some chat tonight. Right. I graduated in 1990 from a small but beautifully formed university in the middle of Wales, right? Small. Oldest uni in England and Wales after Oxford and Cambridge, you know, good accolade, good place. Very weird, but a good place. Now, I've been back briefly with you and Rach, haven't I? Because I wanted to show Rachel where I'd gone to university. And I've been back, I think, once more with my friend Eleanor, who I met on the first day, and Ant, who I also met on the first day. But that's been about it in 32 years. Lovely. Great. That makes me feel even better. Yeah, 32 years. Anyway, it's a very special year for my university this year because it's 200 years since it started. So they were having a great big reunion. And Eleanor and I and a few of our other friends all decided that we were going to go and we were going to reminisce and we were going to have a weekend of pretending to be teenagers again. And it was going to be loads of fun. So I arranged to have a nice pedicure. I arranged to have my hair done. I was so excited for this coming weekend. People decided then that they weren't coming, but you know, whatever. Doesn't matter. Eleanor and I are going to have a good time. So Eleanor texts me sometime last week, something about the weather not going to be good last weekend or this weekend. And I didn't think that much of it, but I just thought, well, gosh, that's a long range forecast, but I didn't really read a message properly. And then last Friday, Mark doesn't work Friday afternoons. Engineers, for some reason, traditionally don't work Friday afternoons. So Mark comes home and we're pottering about. And I must admit, I'm not at my best. I've had a shower, but I've put clean pyjamas on and my hair is all over the place and grey and a mess. And I get a message from Eleanor telling me that, you know, work held her up and she'll be a bit late. And I'm, you stupid girl, it's next week. So I had a look. I just want to show you this, actually. This is my calendar. Just let me check there's something on here you can't see. Right, okay, right, my calendar. Right, hair, 10 a.m. Labton reunion, 29th and 30th, okay? This is me. I did this week, right? That's what I've written on my calendar. I thought, okay, I'll just check. I'll just check my email. So I got there about 9 o'clock. All the stuff that I got planned, disaster, because it didn't happen. Packed pretty much everything except pants. And I just, so that was a good start. So then, I'd missed all of the Friday stuff. So we went out into town to have a drink, and that was nice actually. And then Saturday, I just started feeling a bit iffy, a bit tired. And I wasn't sure if it was because, like, it was a bit wet. I mean, knickers, Jill. I don't know. So we have this big dinner on the Saturday night, and then we went to the bar, and we were gonna, like disco and drinking, and which I don't do, but I was gonna have a drink. And I was so hot. I'm not joking you. I mean, I don't generally wear makeup, but I was wearing makeup, and it was off my face. I was melting. I have never been so hot in my life, and I just felt like such an idiot because I was sweating, and like you don't want to be the sweaty fat girl, do you? Especially in amongst people that you've been to university with. Anyway, I was a sweaty fat girl, so I went and sat outside in the rain because it was cool, and I had my notebook, and actually I was planning a little class. I can't stop, can't help it. And I'm thinking, I just can't do this. So I went to bed. So I texted Eleanor, who was still inside, and I said, look, sorry, you all right, love? I'm off to bed. I was supposed to be staying until Monday. Came home first thing on Sunday morning, got home about 3 o'clock, and I slept for 16 hours. 16 hours. That I don't do that. And then Monday was not with it at all. Yesterday, barely with it, but working on it. And then today I've been out with Dad because he had a whole load of appointments. And I seem to have perked up a bit now. But that was the strangest thing. I was so tired. I couldn't move.
Very unusual.
Yeah, it's very unusual because I'm not like that. So that was my disaster of a weekend. So I've been and had my pedicure anyway. And I'm going to have my hair done on Friday morning, which is great. And it's going to be lovely. But I've absolutely nothing to get dressed up for now. And I'm fed up. So anyway, that was my great weekend.
Cracking.
So I'm nearly there, but not quite. So after that complete disaster, shall we carry on with our folio? I'm not going to do huge amounts tonight because I'm still not with it.
That was good timing. I've just finished typing out the cutting line.
Oh, well, that's good. But we've done this bit, haven't we? This bit. Hold on. This bit. I know we didn't cut out our photo mats, but I'm sure you can do that. So there's that. But today, what I want to do is this bit, but just the front, okay? And this is my favourite bit in the book. I'm not going to lie. This is my favourite bit because it looks so pretty. And what it is we've got a closure here, which are these two belly bands and a photo mat, okay? And then on one of the belly bands, you've got this layered up piece here. And you see, these are the belly bands underneath here. You can see where they go. And that's where the, let me just get rid of all these wires. Oh, sorry. We've got this photo mat, okay, that goes underneath here to close it all up. And then you open it up and you've got a simple pocket and another big photo mat. Okay, so you get the idea. So that's all I want to do today because I'm really sorry, guys. I'm still not with it. I'm a lot better than I was, but I am not there. So I'm going to do all the cutting and making with you, and I'm going to do all of the base decorating, okay? Now, I would suggest that you don't do these fancy bits until we've put the pages in the book. So that's my thinking. So that's what we're going to do. So the other side is exactly the same, okay? It's just that they're opposite sides to each other. So there we go.
Can I just tell everyone about my disaster today?
Your disaster today? What, did you have a disaster today?
I broke my nail.
Oh, we broke his nail, yes.
Disaster.
It was a disaster. I haven't got any nails to break. Right, so now I am so incredibly behind with absolutely everything that I intended not to be behind with. And now I'm panicking, and I'm panicking to the point where I can't get anything done. So I don't even know what I'm doing. What do I need? Cardstock. Focus. Right, so grab your trimmers, grab your plain cardstock, and what we'll do is we'll cut, I think we'll cut all of the bits out first, actually. It would probably make better sense to cut all of the bits out first, and then we'll put them together. So let me find my cardstock, because I haven't been in here for days, so I don't know where anything is. Right, okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to cut out those flaps that our belly bands fit on. I want you to cut 4 because we're making for both sides, okay? I want you to cut 4 at 6.5 by 5.5 inches.
Ali says if you live close, she'll come and help.
The trouble is, I mean, I've got Shell's offered to come and help, but the difficulty that I've got right now is that you'll be delighted to hear we've got a 3rd date for Dad's op, which is going to be Monday, which actually isn't a bad day as far as days go, but he's got all sorts of things going on up until then, which doesn't really help.
Plus his next door neighbour's alarm kicks
Plus his next door neighbour's alarm
and they're on
is going off. So, yeah, it's all joy. Anyway, whatever. Right, and it's a fly. It's a fly. So we've been chasing flies.
They're being robbed by flies.
Oh, and when this lovely guy was putting the fibre in today, Max was very interested and was watching him. And then he got a drill out and started drilling.
Max was on the coffee table.
Max was on the coffee table. Max goes nuts, kicks. Do you know those, like, I've got one of these, like, these really beautiful, like, wooden,
It's like a cake stand.
it's like a cake stand, but it's not. It's for, like, decor, so you can, I know in America this is something that you're really big on, isn't it? So, you know, like, I've got this, like, lovely wooden cake stand like thing, and you put, like, decorations on it to match the season. So mine's all nice and summery, and it's huge, actually. It's really big. Max kicked it off the table, and it's bigger than him. Kicked it off the table and smashed my bunnies.
Not the face off the one.
Not the face off one. So that made me happy.
A tiered tray.
Yeah, a tiered tray, that's the one. What am I doing here? 5.5 by 6.5, 4 of them. Yes, yes, Kari. This Monday, 1st of August. Right, so 4 at 6.5 by 5.5, and those are our flaps. Then we want to cut the belly bands. So you've probably got a bit of card left over from previous cuttings, which I probably have somewhere, but I ain't going to go looking for them. Oh, here's a bit which we're going to cut. We need 4 because these are going to go on each one of those flaps. So we need 4 at 7.5 by 2 inches. So 4 at 7.5 by 2 inches. 1, 2.
Jill says she has one.
3. I love them. My sister has started it, and it's just so nice.
It's just very nice to see. Change of the seasons.
Yes.
It's like a bit of a. It was like fall.
Yeah, it was fall. Literally, it was like, and
it flew.
It flew. I just bought this really cute little Nomi thing for it, which was ceramic, and I'm actually amazed that it didn't break. Just my rabbits.
They're just like a 2-inch, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so we've cut, these are our flaps and these are our belly bands, okay, that form part of our closures. So what I want you to do now is to cut the simple pocket that goes inside of the flaps. So we want 2 at 7.5 by 5 inches. So 2 at 7.5 by 5 inches.
5 inches.
Okay, so those are our simple pockets. Now what we need to do, which we didn't do last week, but you can figure out from last week's cutting guide, which I have uploaded to the OneDrive. I'm getting there. We're going to cut the photo mats, and they're all the same size. So I want you to cut 4 at 6 by 9.5 inches. Okay, so cut 4 at 6 by 9.5 inches. How many is that? 1, 2, 3. One more. So these are the photo mats, and these are 6 by 9.5 inches. Okay. Right. Right, you can put your trimmer away for now. Now, what I do when I'm cutting out is...
Jen says hello.
Hi, Jen. I cut that. So this is the order I cut them. If I turn it over now, I know that these are the ones that I need to start trimming, scoring. So grab your scoreboard. Oh, you'll be delighted to hear that these will be with us on the 1st of August. And I have plenty.
We have company. And
my designer lady has already started going through all of the suggestions that you've made and is designing those up for me as we speak. Oh, God, Max is here.
Is she going to put mine on?
I don't know. I'll tell her to.
Did you see mine?
I did. But it's not the same as the real thing. Right, okay, so this is the first piece that we cut, and this was 6.5 by 5.5 inches. Actually, Jill, you're going to get a pack in your kit.
But that's a secret.
But that's a secret. There's going to be two available, the 2 that I showed you on the 1st of August. And you will, if you're coming to Sweet Rush, you'll be getting a... In fact, you know what? Do you want to see the front of it? I haven't finished it yet. But this is the book for the Sweet Rush retreat, which is going to be in the middle of August. I can't even remember the dates. I've given up with dates because they mean nothing to me anymore. But it's a big un. It's a big un. And that's, look, you see, I've started. So you're gonna get a set in your kit, all right? And this is the front, and this is a photo mat that pulls out. That's all I'm showing you for now. Okay, but there are a couple of spaces left.
It says what mini retreat?
That is, I think it's the 13th and 14th of August, but don't ask me anything about dates because, quite frankly, evidently, I can't get dates right. 13th and 14th of August at Dunstan. Right, okay. Oh, and it's file folders. So that's something new. Okay, right. Yes, Kimberly, that's the one that's the live one that I'm not going to get a chance to make kits up for and record a class for. But don't worry, there's plenty more coming up. Okay, right. So these are our 4 flats. Yes, Kishwa, there are, my darling. You'll be, yes, there are.
Is there a link?
There's about 2, I think. Yeah, straight onto the retreats page on the website. Oh, and if you've got to look at the website, I've had it updated, the front page, because I said that I wanted to have it a bit more interesting. So the front page will change regularly. You'll be delighted to hear. So do take a look at the website, won't you? Because, yeah. Right, okay. Oh, sorry, I did warn you. Can't say I didn't warn you that I wasn't with it. And I'm all over the place, and I am so sorry. Shall I just concentrate? Right.
There's more tangents in the
Right, I am only going to do this going forward. Right, okay, so this is the flap. We have 4 at 6.5 by 5.5 inches, and we are going to score on the 5.5 inch side. So that means 5.5 inches at the top. And we are going to score at 1/2 inch. We're only going to have the one score on each of these. So we're scoring on the 5.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, okay? And that is all 4 pieces. So score 5.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, okay? Right, then what we've got is our belly band pieces, which were 2 by 7.5 inches. And what we're going to do is we're going to score on the 7.5 inch side. So I want you to put the 7.5 inches at the top, and I want you to score at 1/2 inch, and I want you to score at 7 inches. So what you're going to have is a score line at opposite end with a 1/2 inch flap, okay? So that's the same on all 4. So you're going to score at 7.5 inch side at 1/2 inch and at 7 inches. So you're scoring on the 7.5 inch side at 1/2 inch and at 7 inches. And then finally, on the piece that is 2 by 7.5, you are scoring on the 7.5 inch side at 1/2 inch and at 7 inches. Okay.
I don't think I'll put the 1/2 inch, 5.5 inch one on screen. I'll just put it on there.
Oh well.
Briefly.
So what we've got now, we've got the inside simple pocket. This is the one that goes underneath the flap. And these we've cut 2 at 7.5 by 5 inches. And what we're going to do is we're going to score on the 7.5 inch side at 1/2 inch and at 7 inches. And then we're going to turn around and we are going to score on the 5 inch side at 1/2 inch. And it's the same on both. So we're scoring on the 7.5 inch side at 1/2 inch and at 7 inches. Then we're going to turn that round and we're going to score on the 5 inch side at 1/2 inch. You'd be delighted to hear that is all of the scoring for this evening. So you can put your scoreboard away. Right. Now, what I need you to do is, you know, when we made our base pages, okay? Hold on, let me just get rid of this lot.
Hello, Peggy.
Hi, Peggy. So we've got our base pages. Okay, so these are the ones that we worked on last week. These are the smallest ones, the narrowest ones. And then we've got this one, which is the next size. And then we've got that one, which is the biggest size. Actually, I've done that the wrong way round. So that's there. That's there. That's there. That's my back. So we've got those 3 pages like that, and then I've got these 3 pages like that. Okay, and that's how it's going to look in the book. So what I want you to do is, we've obviously completed this pretty much. I want you to take the next 2 size pages up. Okay, and we made these on our first week, but you can go back and watch. I'm just in the process of adding those to the OneDrive at the moment. So what we've got here are the next 2 pages. Width is 6.5 inches. Let me just check that. Width is 6.5 inches. Height is 10 inches. Okay. And I have got my open sides here to the left and to the right. And then here in the middle, these are the sides which do not have an opening. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we are going to add our flaps. So if you take the 4 pieces that we originally started with, these ones that were 6.5 by 5.5 inches, and we've got 4 of those, she says. We did have, I'm sure we did. Let me find mine.
Got to go. Friends around.
Oh, bye, Kari. Okay, so we've got these 4 pieces. These are our flaps with just the 1 score line on. And we're going to fold on that score line just like that. And then we're going to burnish. Okay, so let me just burnish those. A nice sharp crease. do now is we're going to add these flaps to the front of these pages. Now, when I say the front, obviously they're symmetrical. So we've got a page on the left and a page on the right. But we need to make sure that the openings are on opposite sides, okay? So I'm going to work on mine as if they are already in the book. So I've got my 2 open sides, and these are the 2 not open sides. For me, when I'm working on my pages, my front side is always the side without the flaps. So you can see here that when we put our base pages together, we've got our flaps and they're on the back. So I'm going to put this down, my 2 pages down. So I've got my openings on this side and this side. Okay, so I'm laying it down like that. And I've got, this is the flat side without the flaps. And I'm going to put that flap there and that flap there, and you will see that they will just about join in the middle, okay? So when you glue it down, it will join in the middle, and the same on this side as well. So I'm going to get some glue, which is probably because I haven't used this since last week. I'm going to put some glue on there like that. And I'm going to attach this on the very bottom of that page, like that, right at the bottom. Make sure it lines up so it's all nice and straight. Okay, like that. Oh. All right, and then I'm just going to turn it upside down just because it's easier for me to work. And then I'm going to glue this one at the top, okay? So glue on my flap there. And I'm going to attach that. It's exactly the same width as the page. So if I glue that on like that, and then that means that those 2, let me put this back right. So I've got my opening here, and then I've got my 2 flaps like that. And when they close, they touch in the middle. Oh, okay. And I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. So this has got the opening here to the right. I'm going to put some glue on there. Attach that to the very bottom. Like that, she says, hopefully. Okay, so flap down there and then flap to the top. I'm just turning this around just so that I can line it up. Okay, right, easy. Yep, you're all following, aren't you? It really is. It's very easy, that bit. Okay, so I've got my 2 pages with my 2 flaps. Okay, so just to show you what we've just done is I'm just going to take these out for a minute. What we've just done is just added these flaps, okay? That's what we've just done. What we're going to do now is we're going to add these belly bands, okay? So put those to one side. We've got our belly bands, which, as you remember, were 2 inches by 7.5 inches, and we've got the score lines at either end. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold it on those score lines on each of these, like that. Oh, I wish I had nails. And I'm going to burnish, so I've got a nice sharp crease, okay? Is it me or is it really hot in here?
I've got the window open.
Oh, God, I'm having a hot flush. Okay, so I've got my page. this is the one for the left-hand side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a belly band in the middle of that flap on the top and a belly band in the middle of that flap on the top. Now, if you want to measure it. Me, not so much. I'm going to just eyeball it. Hang on. And to do so, I'll have to take off my glasses. So I'm just putting some glue onto these flaps here like that. Oh. And I'm going to pop this in the middle of that bottom flap there like that. Let me just have a look and see if it's ish. That's a bit more central. Okay. All right. So I've got my belly band there. And then I'm going to do the same on the top. To be honest, once this is decorated up, nobody's going to see if it's not quite right. So let's put this one in what I think is the middle. Straight would be even better. There we go. Okay. So that is the belly band on the front of each flap. Now what I need to do is add the belly bands to this side. Now, here's a little tip for you. Use this one as your guide. So if you line them up next to each other, line that up like that, and then you know that they're going to be symmetrical. Okay. There we go. And the same, I'm just going to turn that round. At the top. Okay. There we go. Nice and easy. All right, so once we've done that, what we want to do now are the pockets that go inside. So our last two pieces are these very simple pockets that we cut out and scored earlier. So what we're going to do is a little bit of kinky mitering. So where the score lines intersect, we've got that little square and I want to get rid of it. So I'm going to snip up to where the score lines intersect and I'm going to just snip that off at an angle. Not straight across, because if you do it straight across, I think you can still get a bulgy bit sometimes. And this is an occasion where we don't want a bulgy bit. Okay. So now I've mited those corners, I'm going to fold on this score line, or these score lines like that, so that I'm making my pocket shape.
Dishwasher says this glue seems fantastic.
Which one, sorry? What? No,
This
I wasn't
glue
listening.
seems fantastic.
It's not too bad. Okay, so I'm just burnishing because, you know, like a nice sharp crease. Okay, now don't do what I did.
Do
when
as
you
I say.
Yeah, do as I say, don't do as I do. Okay, right. So just make sure these are the right way up when you put your pocket in. So I'm going to start with my left-hand page, which has the opening, she says, on the left-hand side. So I'm going to put that down so that's there. I'm going to open up my flaps and I'm going to glue this pocket down here at the bottom, maybe 1/8 of an inch up from the bottom. I don't want it exactly on that crease there because it just gets in the way and everything gets a little bit too bulgy.
No, you don't want that. Which
we don't want. So I'm going to pop that. It basically goes over the top of the bottom flap. But I'm just going to leave a tiny little gap between the flap, the fold of the flap, and where I'm sticking my pocket on. Okay. Don't know how well you can see that, but there's just a little tiny gap. So that will fold over like that. And then I know we're going to decorate this in a minute, but just as an example, what's going to happen is your photo mat is going to slip through those like that. And that's going to form your closure. Okay, it's very floppy abouty a bit at the moment. That's because we haven't decorated anything, okay? But that is how that page goes together. So the opposite side, we need to have our opening to the right. Open up your flaps and pop your pocket down at the bottom there.
Kishwa says she has ordered it.
Brilliant.
The 3D one, we hope.
I think that's all we've got now.
Yeah. It's the best.
Ooh. Right, okay. So just pop this up a little bit.
Oh my God.
Glue that down. Okay. And that's our other page. So now I promised you that what I'd do is I'd decorate this with you because it is quite tight. And I'm going to decorate this one in exactly the same way as I've done that one. So we might as well start with the left-hand side. Because if you remember, I was doing mine kind of pinky on one side and bluey on the other. So I've got this. This is the strawberry lemonade and that's the tidal wave. So I am not going to do these with you because that's something that we do last, okay? But I'll decorate up everything else. So we might as well start at the back and move our way forward. I'm not going to decorate my photo mats, okay? Because what I've done is I've just used white card in the space of, you know, where I put photos. And then I've just used like really narrow strips of pattern paper to go in between just to add some interest, but I'm not going to do that until the end. Okay, so this might take me a minute because I need to make sure that I'm using the same paper and I need to find it. So what have I used here? Let's have a look. So I'm thinking that this is from the foundations page set. So that isn't that. I think that was the piece I was using for my cover. So that is that, isn't it? Yep. So what's that piece? Anybody got any bright ideas?
Oh, yeah, bed. Oh, and tea.
Ha, it's that one. Okay, so I'm going to decorate these two pieces up here with, this is Painted Foundations Washed, SS 36172. And I'm also going to use this, which is Painted Foundations Kaleidoscope SS 36141. So, obviously, well, let me just check. Because I'm going to take a guess that what I've done here is use the other half inside. Have I? No. I haven't, because that would just be too helpful. Goodness knows what I've done there. Right, okay, so let's start with this side. So this is this. So obviously what I've done is cut that size and then cut it down a little bit, because I don't know if you can see how well you can see here, but there's a like a doily lace in the middle of that piece, and that's what I've used there. So
Tracy Joy Edwards says hello, so she's late.
Hi, Tracy, we'll let you off.
She has just arrived at Caravan.
So that's going to be 6.5 by 10, isn't it? I don't even know why I'm measuring this because I can actually remember that. So let's cut that bottom bit off. Right, so I've cut it just under 6.5, but I'm not going to cut it 10. I'm going to cut it at 10.25. There is a reason for that, and that's because I want to have a little bit to tuck inside. So if I just measure that, which is 4.5. So if I chop that at just under 4.5, what I've got now is that piece for there and that piece to just slip inside there slightly. Okay, so that's going to fit on there like that. Now remember, if you're inking your edges, you need to ink your edges before you glue it down. So let's pop that in there.
Jen says she's gone totally off script in the papers. We shall look.
That's absolutely fine.
Do your own thing.
Now, I'm just wondering, I keep looking at this and I'm wondering if yeah, okay, so I'm going to cut that the same, so 6.5 just under. And these are, what's the size of that? 5 inches. So let's just cut that down just under 5. So 4 7/8, and then 4 7/8 with that one. Excellent. So let's pop that there. And this one at the top. Yeah, if you're going off and doing your own thing as far as decorating's going, I'm not going to do anything else tonight other than decorate. So if you want to go off and decorate, feel free. I'm just going to carry on and decorate these little bits And then that's it for this evening. Okay, so that's all decorated up now. So one of these 4 photo mats that I've got, that's going to go in there like that. Okay, well, it will do. There we go. I always get stuck. There we go. So that's going to fit in there like that. Okay, we will come back and decorate all the fancy bits up, but I don't like doing that until we've put these in the book. Okay, so this is what I call base decorating. We're just getting the pattern paper on before we put the bits in the book. So for the front, what I've used, and this is one where this is going to be contentious. I know it is, because what I've used is a really rather nice piece that I can see people might want to use on their covers if they're going to go off and do their own thing, because I've used this. Because when I first did it, you're going to see a lot more of it than you actually have. So here, I don't know if you can see, I've actually used, it is under there, I've actually used 3 pieces, and I've cut these all separately, and then that's another piece altogether. So what I'm thinking is I've just used odds and ends to do that. So that bit's different, and I'm just wondering whether or not that was an accident and I glued it the wrong way round. See, this is just gorgeous. It is quite contentious to use it when you're not going to see it, I know.
Say hi to Tracy on YouTube.
Hi Tracy on YouTube.
Oh, what was that?
So I've obviously used that pink circle at the top, and I have a feeling
These are nice.
is it one that I've already used? No. You know what? I'm going to regret this probably, but I'm just going to use those pieces.
Kishwa loves this paper, and Tracy asks, are there photos of each page?
Yep, they're all in the OneDrive. They've been up there for a while, actually. So if you go to the mini books and where to find them folder, you'll find the link to the book, and they are all up in the OneDrive. So I'm going to cut this. This is Butterfly Flight SS 36059. This is from the Classic collection. So let's cut that at 6.5.
I know what he's after.
And I'm going to cut these at 1.5 inches. So I'm going to start with the top. I'm going to cut that at 1.5. Let me just double check that that's enough. Yeah. Is that what I've used on? Yeah, I'm going to keep cutting because I'm going to do both sides. So 1.5 inches. Which will give me 8 8 pieces. So this is the piece that we've just put together. I'm going to start off and I'm going to stack these now. So if you're gonna ink them.
Tracy on YouTube says she really loves the butterflies.
They're gorgeous. Well, all of the papers are gorgeous. It's
nice.
very difficult to choose. So this is my left hand page, where, if you remember, I said I was kind of doing a bit more of the strawberry at this point. So let's pop that there. Then that piece is going to go in. I've done this the long way around, haven't I? No, that's right. Eh? Yep, that's right. So that goes in there. So that's going to fit there. This one is going to fit there.
Like so.
Like so. With this final one up the top. Okay. Right, and then on my other side, let's make sure I've got this the right way up. Let's just make sure these are, that's there. Okay, so bottom, oops, oh, leave me of the book. Pop that on there.
I don't know what happened to the video then.
Why?
It's all weird. Blocky.
Oh.
Anya did say it would be up and down for 3 to 5 hours, didn't it?
Okay, so that one needs to go in the top. Right, okay. I'm just going to leave these bits for a minute and I'm going to look at inside here. So what have I used? Okay, so on this one, I've used Aha. I have used, oh, there's paper everywhere. Some of this green. And that one.
Lynn says morning.
Morning, Lynn.
I'm glad it isn't.
So I'm going to use a bit of that kind of bright greeny one, which is this one, which is from the Classic collection. And that's called Limeade SS36103. And then this one, which isn't what I thought it was. It's this one, which is from the Foundations collection. And this is called Patchwork, and it's SS36165. Okay, so grab my trimmer. I'm going to cut this bit. So let me just cut the, and don't throw the these, I forgot what they're called. Don't throw those away because they've got interesting bits on that you can use as these kind of spaces in between your photo mats. So I'm going to cut this 6.5 or just under 6 3/8. And then this side, I'm cutting the opposite side. Okay. So these bits, I think, are they 5? Yeah, they're 5 inches. So let's cut that at 4 7/8 and 4 7/8. And this one, we want to cut at, because this is going to cover the other side of this. Where's my ruler? So what did I cut that down to? I cut it at 10 1/4, didn't I? So let's cut that down to 10 1/4. And then that was what, 4 1/2? Yeah, 4 1/2. So there we go. Right. So I'm going to open up this one. And I'm going to start and pop that. Oh, what am I doing? I've cut that too short, too narrow. Oh, no, that's the wrong side. Oh, what an idiot. No, it's not. What have I done? It is 6 1/2, isn't it? I must have cut it at 6 1/4. Where's my other trimmer?
Yeah. Oh, no, that's about one, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one is pushed.
Hey? What's gone wrong here? What am I doing? Oh, there. So, where's 6 1/2? So I need another 1/4 inch. Am I going nuts? What the heck have I done here? Oh, there. 4 1/2. So my measurements were right. It's just I can't measure. But I think we've already established that. Right, okay. Right. So that is going to go, yeah, there. Where's my other pick? Oh, there it is. Right. So yeah, 6.5. I cut it at 6 1/4 because I'm an idiot, but it is 6.5, as I said. So you'd never notice.
Invisible.
Ish. Well, it's not quite. Nobody will ever know. Okay, so that's going to go in there. Can't see. Right, where's my other bit? There we go. You'd be amazed how many books I've done this on. Or actually, maybe you wouldn't. There, see? If you didn't know, you wouldn't know, would you? Perfect. So let's get these bits on. So that one down there and that one up there. Cut those right. Okay, right, so there we go. Got those two done. We just need to do these bits, which I have zero idea what I used. So let me just go back and check. Have I used the same on? Oh, orangey ones. I think, oh, I know what that is. This is some I had left over from another piece. So if you've been following me exactly when it comes to decoration, you will have a piece, oh, this piece. And you will also have maybe an orangey piece. Maybe not. Maybe we'll leave the orangey piece until later.
Anne says hello.
Hi, Anne.
Welcome.
Yeah, that's that one, isn't it? Okay, I'm loath to cut anything out for the one on the left until I'm absolutely doubly, triply sure what I've got. So I'm going to leave that, but I'm going to cut out the one for this side because I know exactly which piece I used. So this is going to be 6.5 by 2, but obviously it's not. It is going to be, oh, I must have used that. It's going to be 1 7/8 by 6 3/8. Ooh, that's very close. I wonder if I use the back of it. I'm going to do that. Right. Well, that looks all right on that side, doesn't it? I think these are just odds and ends of pieces that I've just got left over. I must have done that last. Never mind. You're not going to see them anyway, to be honest. So let's put that one over there. And this one down there. And then we'll worry about the others when we've got some more left over. I have a horrible feeling that by the time we finish this, we're going to end up with far too much paper because I'm being so much more careful this time.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to leave that, even though I probably could go ahead and do some more, but I'm going to leave it for now, just in case, because guaranteed I'll cut the wrong bit. So what you've got here are your photo mats as well. So if you want to decorate up your photo mats, if you've got photos to put on them, then do. So you've got one photo mat for inside in each pocket, like that. If it'll go in. There we go. And then you've got a photo mat that fits through there to form that closure. And there should be another one somewhere. That will form that one there like that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do this week. Next week we'll have a look at the back of this page, because that's when we start getting into our acetate pockets and such like. So we've got this flap, we've got these flaps here. Oh, that photo mat that goes in there. We've got some long pockets, so that's what we'll concentrate on next week. Okay, so if you want to carry on and just, well, yeah, all I'd say is just decorate up your photo mats if you want to, and that will do. So I will see you if you're doing the pop-up Let It Be book tomorrow over in Crafting Together with All Brands. All being well. I'm going to have to find all of these. I've lost all of my stuff. I'll find them and put it back together. All right. So, yeah. So if you just want to decorate up your photo mats, we'll see you tomorrow night in Crafting Together with All Brands for the next part of the pop-up book, which I have no idea what we're doing. It's one of the inserts, isn't it, I think? Yeah, I think that's about it. All right then, guys, you take care. Thank you for joining me this evening. I'm sorry I've not been quite with it. In fact, that's been the understatement of the century. We'll see you really soon. Bye. Oh.